Hey gorgeous! So this episode isn't really an episode as such. It is me taking the opportunity to check in with you, see how you're doing, say hello, and let you know that the podcast is going to be taking a break over the summer. I've been playing around with this idea for a little bit and it really feels like the right decision, and I'll tell you why in a minute, but it's going to be back. The podcast will be back in the autumn, and it's going to be rejudged. It's going to look a bit different. The jingle, it's not a jingle, is it? The intro and the outro, they're going to be different. Everything's going to be far more aligned with where I want the podcast to go and the kind of high quality content that I want to deliver to you. We're going to be focusing on business, health, wealth, and all things living your best life on this podcast. And I can't wait. It's really eclectic and I love that. And I know that's not what the gurus would say if you're having a podcast, but you know what? I'm not really bothered about being number one on the Apple listing. I'm interested in delivering content that I know is valuable and I know is going to help people and it's going to reach the right people. So I can't wait. I genuinely can't wait. I've already started putting some things in motion, reaching out to some different guests, planning out some episodes. But the reason I'm taking a break from the podcast, and rather than just putting some more encore episodes out or, just maybe doing some shorter episodes, is I want to, well, there's two reasons. From a business point of view, I really want to immerse myself in the creative process. I never let myself do that. I don't know whether you resonate with that as well. I always am so busy doing because I'm just that's my nature. I'm a doer. I like getting things done. So I'm generally so occupied and throwing myself into so many different things, and obviously serving my clients. And this year's, I've had my own personal challenges with surgery and stuff as well. So there's always been other things I'm dealing with, and it hasn't allowed me, or I have not allowed myself to really immerse myself in a big, juicy, beautiful project like the podcast. And I don't want to do that anymore. I don't want to do anything. I don't want to get the podcast rebranded and looking great, but from a half-assed effort. I want to give it my all. So I'm taking a complete step back from, putting that pressure on myself to get another episode out. And I'm just going to make it amazing for you. And I'm going to take the time to really get it on point, and line up some amazing guests, some amazing content, and making it feel a bit more aligned. The Focused and Fierce podcast started nearly 2 years ago now. So a lot has changed in that time, hasn't it? So I want to make sure it's far more aligned with the message I want to get out there. It's far more aligned with what I'm talking about on social media. Yes, I'm really excited. So from a business point of view, I'm super, super excited to bring it back to you in the autumn. But also from a personal point of view, I want to have a load of fun this summer. If you're listening in the UK, obviously, our restrictions finally buggered off in July. So the world in England, at least, has opened up so much more. We can go out, and I am taking full advantage of my freedom, having my freedom back and going out, seeing people, seeing friends, seeing family, dancing, talking to randoms, just all the nice, fun, incredible things, having days out with my kids. And I'm just loving it, absolutely loving it. And I fully intend on enjoying this summer before there's any risk of them throwing us back into a lockdown or anything. Hopefully that's not going to happen. But I'm not taking my chances. I'm going to live life to the full. So I want to do that. Obviously, as you know, well, you may know, I had some surgery as well. So I've been out of action for a while. So I am just enjoying life at the moment. And I spoke about this on a previous episode about how when you allow yourself to stop and reflect and really go quiet, allowing yourself to listen to what your intuition is saying and really get honest with yourself about what you want. I've had so many ideas for the business. I've got so many things I want to work on. I am so pumped about getting back into work, and I've already started seeing my clients again, which just makes me so happy. So I'm coaching again, which is just beautiful, and I want to start and I want to complete all these projects that I've come up with ideas for. So for that reason, I just want to take a step back from doing things publicly. I want to work on the back end of my business. The website needs changing. I'm having a new branding shoot, all these real exciting things which are going to better reflect the business and better reflect the podcast and better reflect where I'm coming from, the message I want to share, and how I want to help people and get this message further. So I'm really excited. I'm genuinely quite giddy about just getting back to work and really diving into all these things. But to do that, I have got to be mindful of my energy, be mindful of what I can and can't do. I'm still recovering from the eye surgery, so I'm not actually able to wear contact lenses for as long as I'd like. So there's limited amount of time I can be on my laptop, all these little things. Plus I've got my kids, it's summer holidays, and I just need to be mindful of my energy. So I want to give my all to what matters. And for that reason, I'm going to step back from the podcast for a few weeks and then come back in the autumn to see you beautiful lot with a new look podcast. It'll still be called the Focused and Fearless podcast, unless I have a download or some kind of burst of inspiration or intuition beforehand. I'm still intending it on being the Focused and Fearless podcast. And yeah, I'll be back in the autumn. So until then, please stay in contact. I am back on social media. You'll see I'm on LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, wherever else my lovely assistant puts stuff for me. But Instagram is the place that I am actually at. You won't really find me on any of the other platforms, but I am on Instagram. So if you want to chat, say hello. If you've got any ideas, any episode ideas that you'd like to have, or maybe you're listening to this and you're like, oh, actually, I'd really like to be a guest because I've got a message I'd love to share. Get in contact with me. It's either going to be a yes or a no. So get in contact. Let's have a chat about it. But I'd love to know if there's any specific topics you would like. We're going to go really far more broad on this podcast, which I know goes against all of the marketing gurus' advice when it comes to podcasts. But being number one on iTunes is not my aim. I really don't care. What I care about is creating really high quality content, and I know from experience that when I create really high quality content, it finds the right people and that message always gets through. So what would you like to hear? We're going to be covering business, health, wealth, and all things living your best, most beautiful, bold life. So on that note, my gorgeous ones, I'm going to take a break and I will see you in the autumn, but make sure you come over and chat with me on Instagram at Heather Angel Coaching. All right, gorgeous ones, speak soon.